think this book made me suspicious of the phrase, everyone knows everyone. Because after spending time in North Falls, I started thinking that maybe knowing everyone is exactly the problem. You know their families. You know who they married. You remember what they did 20 years ago. You know which house they grew up in, who their parents were, and probably what they ordered at the diner last Tuesday. And somehow, you can still know absolutely nothing about them. That was the feeling the secrets we hide kept giving me. Not that somebody was hiding something, that everybody was.
Coffee ready? Good, because I need to talk.
Welcome back to BookBuddy. Grab your favorite drink and get comfortable, because Karin Slaughter dropped me into North Falls with a shooting, a family already carrying enough emotional baggage for several books, and a town where the past apparently refuses to stay in the past. And I expected the mystery to be the thing that pulled me through. Who did it? Why? What are people hiding? Those questions are definitely there. The book opens with Allison Vickery desperately preparing to leave town with her daughter Mandy. She is scared. She's trying to think like the police officer she once was, and before you really understand what she's running from, everything goes horribly wrong. That's about as much as I want to tell you, because this is absolutely one of those books where knowing less gives you more. But here's what surprised me. The mystery wasn't the part I kept thinking about when I stopped reading. It was Emmy and Jude. Emmy Clifton is dealing with the deaths of both her parents, trying to hold onto her position as sheriff, worrying about her son Cole, and carrying years of things she hasn't really dealt with. Then there's Jude, older, complicated, former FBI, very good at reading people, which is slightly inconvenient when you're around people who would strongly prefer not to be read. Their relationship has this strange push and pull that I really enjoyed. Sometimes they work together beautifully. Sometimes you can practically feel Emmy wanting Jude to stop analyzing her for 5 minutes and just be a normal human being. And underneath all of that is history. A lot of history. That's where North Falls really worked for me. This doesn't feel like a town that was created because the mystery needed somewhere to happen. It feels inherited. Streets carry family names. Houses stay in families for generations. Everybody seems connected through blood, marriage, friendship, work, resentment, or some combination nobody wants to explain. So every time Emmy follows one thread, it feels like she's pulling on something attached to 10 other people. And that changed the way I read the mystery. Usually in a crime novel, I look at someone and think, could you be lying? Here I started thinking, okay, I know you're lying. I'm just trying to figure out which lie matters. And Karin Slaughter is very good at giving you reasons to suspect people. Domestic violence, old grudges, police corruption, money, family loyalty, people protecting careers, people protecting reputations, people protecting other people. At one point, Emmy basically has to remind herself and the people around her that they're supposed to follow evidence rather than decide who they want the guilty person to be. I liked that because the book kept me doing exactly the opposite. I'd decide someone felt wrong. Then I'd start collecting reasons. See? That look, that conversation, that little detail. Definitely suspicious. 5 pages later. Okay, maybe I should not be allowed anywhere near an actual investigation. And this is where the book became more interesting than a simple whodunit for me. Because eventually I realized that nearly everybody is protecting some version of the truth they can live with. Not necessarily the truth, their version. That's different. Sometimes the secret protects someone you love. Sometimes it protects yourself. Sometimes you've lived with something for so long that revealing it now feels more destructive than keeping it buried. And the book keeps asking a really uncomfortable question without turning around and explaining the answer to you. If telling the truth destroys somebody, is hiding it always wrong? I kept changing my answer. That's what got me. Because secrets sound simple when they belong to somebody else. Just tell the truth. Easy. Then the book adds family, fear, shame, grief, love, responsibility, 40 years of consequences. Suddenly the truth isn't a light switch anymore. It's a grenade. There's another part of this book that hit harder than I expected. The women here spend a lot of time carrying things. Not literally. Other people's failures. Other people's violence. Families, children, parents, jobs, secrets, guilt. And eventually you start noticing what happens when somebody has been carrying too much for too long. That became more powerful to me than solving the crime, because the book isn't particularly interested in pretending that discovering the truth magically fixes everything. Some damage doesn't disappear because somebody finally understands what happened. And I appreciated that. The mystery gives the book momentum, but the emotional weight comes from people trying to live beside things they cannot undo. That also makes this a heavier read than the title and crime setup might suggest. The book deals seriously with domestic violence and the difficulty of escaping it. Slaughter's own acknowledgments make clear that this isn't being treated as a convenient thriller device. She specifically discusses the barriers that can make leaving an abusive situation far more complicated than simply walking out the door. So if you're coming here expecting a clean little puzzle with suspects lined up neatly for inspection, that's not really what this is. It's messier, emotionally and morally. And honestly, because if someone offered me the chance I'd been waiting for my whole life, now, would I recommend The Secrets We Hide? Yes, especially if you like crime novels where the investigation and the characters' personal lives become almost impossible to separate. If you want a very fast, simple thriller that only cares about getting you from clue to clue, this may feel denser than you're expecting. North Falls comes with families, histories, relationships, and old wounds, and the book wants you to spend time inside all of that. But if you enjoy mysteries where every answer seems to reveal another layer of somebody, this is very much your kind of book. And I should say one more thing. This is part of the North Falls series. The book itself points readers back to We Are All Guilty Here as the first North Falls novel. So personally, I'd start there rather than treating this as my introduction to these people, because the more history you understand, the more some of the emotional weight here is going to matter. Before we close the book, here's the bookmark I'm keeping. Maybe the most dangerous secrets aren't always the ones nobody knows. Sometimes they're the ones everybody has learned not to talk about. And that's what North Falls left me thinking about. So here's my question for you. If knowing the truth would hurt someone you love, would you still tell them? Thanks for spending a little time with me today. I'll see you in the next Book Buddy. Until then, keep up Burke close and happy reading.